Okay, hi Teens 5, this is Miss Lou speaking from home. This is my very small room. And this video belongs to class 5, which is titled Stative Verbs and Use of Articles. And in this video, which I'll try to keep as short as possible, I will explain the difference between stative and dynamic verbs, so you can do some simple activities that I included in the Word file. I will be reading directly from what I wrote there because it is my very own explanation, and I try to explain it with those same words I would use in the classroom, and I will try and do the same in this video as well. So, basically, there are two different groups of verbs in English. Verbs called dynamic and verbs called stative. I will start with the dynamic verbs, which are the easiest one because they are also the majority of verbs. These are called dynamic because they imply, in most of the cases, movement or some kind of action that we need to do. Okay, that's why they are dynamic. And also because they can be done for small periods of time and then not be done anymore, etc. Okay, they can be used in all the forms of the tenses. This means simple or continuous, which are the two forms of every tense: present simple, present continuous, simple past, past continuous, etc., etc. And basically these are actions just like run, read, cook, I don't know, go, play. Okay, any action that involve movement or some kind of activity, some kind of action. Okay, but it is much easier to understand the difference between dynamic and stative if we check out the stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that describe a state, meaning something, some action that do not change over time. That is not like it can be done for a short time and then not be done. They describe states. Okay, they are static. That is what that's what I said on the explanation. Differently to dynamic verbs, they do not generally refer to any type of movement or of bodily movement. And I usually divide them in three groups within the stative groups, which are those verbs that refers to abstract processes. This means mind processes, things that we do with our mind, such as think, believe, know, understand. Okay, things that cannot be seen. It's not like we understand, but we understand with our minds. Then emotions, such as love, okay, like, prefer. Yes, those verbs that we usually relate to preference. And possession, verbs such as have or own. Okay, everything is included in the material I sent you, so you will have the opportunity to check it out. And the special thing about stative verbs, and the most important thing that you have to remember, is that they can't be used in the continuous form. Okay, they can't be used in the continuous form. You can only use it in the simple tenses. That is because they usually refer to something that is static, that does not change over time, just as a routine. When you learn the simple present when you're younger, we tell you that we use the simple present or even the simple past to talk about present routines, things that we do every day in the same way, like staying at home nowadays. I always stay at my house. Or even for the past, when this quarantine finishes, we're going to say we stayed at home every day. So that is the simple form of the verb, okay, of the tense. So for stative verbs, we can only use them for simple tenses because they refer to things that we do every day in the same way. I always put this example. If I tell you that I believe in God, for example, this means in general that I believe in God every day when I wake up. This is my own personal belief. This is what I think. So it's not like it's going to change in 2 minutes. I don't know, you can say I don't like vegetables, I didn't like vegetables, and it refers to something, to some preference you had for a period, or that you have for a long period of time. It might change in the future, it might have changed in the present, but the important thing to remember is that you cannot use these verbs in the continuous form. One of the most well-known, most famous verbs that are included in this group is, of course, the verb be. Remember that the verb be is to exist, or to be in a place, to stay in a place. So these are two meanings that are basically abstract. So you can never use the verb be in the continuous form. However, and this is the last part of the video, I promise, there are let's see, 5 stative verbs that I included in your file that can be used in the continuous form, but they change their meaning, all right? And they are the verb think. So if you use the verb think in the simple form, I think you are pretty, this is my own thought, abstract mind process, no problem, your opinion, your idea, okay? So you always use it as a stative verb. However, you can use it in the continuous form. For example, I am thinking about traveling to another country, and in that way, in the continuous form, the verb think refers to some kind of thing, of idea that you are considering and reflecting upon, that you've been thinking for a very long time, something that you are considering. Then you will have the verb see, okay? If I tell you that I can see a tree outside my window, I am only talking about the idea that I can perceive that tree with my eyes, nothing special, one of the senses, the sight. However, if I tell somebody I am seeing my boyfriend tonight, it means that I have a plan. In the continuous form, the verb see, with this reference to the future that we will see later on in the year, means that we have some type of date, some type of social meeting, all right? Then we have the verb look, which can, if I don't know, I will give you an example. You look really sad today. It means that we are talking about somebody's appearance in general. But if I tell you, why are you looking at me like that? That means that you are actually directing your eyes to me, all right? The general meaning of the verb look that you already know. Then we have the verb have. The verb have in the simple tenses mean what you already know. I have a boyfriend, I hope. So it means that I have it every day, all right, possession. But if you use it in the continuous form, something like I am having breakfast, it means that you are eating that. Or even I am having a shower, it means taking a shower. So be careful, because the verb have in the continuous form, I am having lunch, I'm having a shower, means to take. And finally, the verb be, which is always a stative verb that should be used in the simple form. You are nice, she is horrible, the weather is beautiful. But if I use it in the continuous form and I say something like, today you are being terrible, it means that you are generally a nice person, but today you are behaving in a different way, okay? All of this is clearly explained in the theory. I just wanted to give you my own explanation of this. I hope it wasn't very boring. I miss you guys, and I hope I see you soon. Bye. Enjoy your quarantine days.